Celtic. Becky, great ball in. Ellen White for Manchester City.
Decent hit, wonderful goal. The first ever in a Manchester derby in FAWSL is an absolute blinder, scored by Caroline Weir.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MCW Fancast. I'm Emma, thanks for listening. On this week's show we're joined by Dave and Jayne from the OSC in our penultimate episode of our 2021 season, as Manchester City women see out their final game of this season campaign against West Ham United in our FA Cup 5th round tie at the Academy Stadium this coming Sunday. We'll also be recapping on recent results in the WSL against both Birmingham and West Ham. It's like deja vu, honestly. A result which confirms our second place finish in the Women's Super League behind champions Chelsea. Dave, Jayne, thanks for joining me on this week's show. How are you doing?
Hi Emma, I'm fine, thank you, yeah.
Yeah, good, thank you Emma, nice to talk to you.
So a couple of games to look back on then as the season draws to a close for Manchester City. Our final two fixtures in the WSL against Birmingham and West Ham. Let's start with Birmingham at the Academy Stadium. It finished 4-0 to City. Chloe Kelly linking up with Lauren Hemp, contributing 2 goals in the first half. Great to see Esme Morgan also in on the goals for her first for the club, and Sam Mewis rounding off a resolute win late on in added time to secure another 3 points. What did you make of the team's performance?
Yeah, good. Like I say, good solid win. At the time, obviously, it was all about getting the points secured, and came out with the right attitude. And you know, you've got to earn the right to win every game. You would fancy City to beat Birmingham at home, but as we said in the last podcast, sometimes that fixture has proved to be a dogged one in the past where we've had to work really hard. I would say we did work hard again, but the goals eventually came, and it was a good win to be expected, really. But I was quite satisfied with it at the time.
Yeah, same here. I thought it was a good performance. We came out and put in a performance that we had to do. The goals came. We wanted to get a few goals in the hope that, you know, if it was necessary and we needed the goal difference, we would have it. We always knew that it was very unlikely to go down to the goal difference, but I think we came out with a good attitude and played well.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, do you? You never know. You never know.
You got to cling on to that little hope. The last thing
you bit of hope
to go there, and
the hope that kills you, Jayne. Honestly,
it really is.
Unfortunately, the afternoon did end abruptly for Chloe Kelly, who was stretched off around about the 73rd minute of play. We now know that Chloe Kelly has sustained a right ACL injury and will now face an extended spell on the sidelines after what's been such a fantastic debut season at the club for Chloe. It really is the news that no one would wish for. Obviously, devastating news. How are you feeling about it?
Well, as you say, devastated, because it was one of those, you knew straight away that it was serious, because the way it happened, it wasn't an obvious foul or anything, but you could see straight away that she'd possibly caught her leg in the turf, or her knee had been knocked as she'd gone down, and you could see the agony that she was in. You knew there was no way that was anything other than serious straight away. So obviously you really worried. You know, she was down for so long with the oxygen, and you know, it's like you said, it's a real downer on both the day and the season, because she's played so well. We just announced her last week as our player of the season, the OSC's player of the season, which I think thoroughly deserved, because although there were a lot of very good candidates this year and it was close voting, I'm personally glad Chloe won it, because I think at the start of the season, when City weren't playing as well, right back to the very first game, the Community Shield, where we weren't really on the ball, you know, new players coming in and difficult and everything, I thought Chloe shone even then, right from the very first game. I remember her sticking in my mind that she was one of the highlights even in that first game. And it's been consistent all season. To me, she's been our best, most consistent performer. And for that to be a player that's come from another club, and possibly not what you would have considered our marquee signing when we had the American girls coming after and things like that, which definitely seemed to get more attention. You know, great that she's probably been our best player of the season. So to lose her and for a season to finish for her in such a devastating way, I was just so sorry for her. You know, It's just not what she deserved at all.
I mean, it's like you said, it's almost a given when a new player comes into a squad that you have to make an acceptance that they're going to take a little bit of time to bed in. And like you said, I mean, even from the first game against Chelsea in the Community Shield, even then she was just like really bright. She stood out, she shone within the team, and really showed what a fantastic player and the potential and impact that she could have on this team. And that has just shown throughout every minute that she's played.
It really has, right from the start of the season, like you say, you know, she just fitted in straight away and looked like she'd been playing as part of that team for so long. As you say, you know, the signings that we made over the summer, hers probably went under the radar a little bit more than the rest of them. Yet she was the one who came out and straight away looked like a real class signing, who fitted in, who kind of was really positive with the ball. So it's a real shame for her. Really gutted for her. We know that she'll come back, and she'll come back fighting and stronger, and all the team and, you know, all her teammates and all her ex-teammates and everyone are all behind her and all wishing her well. So I'm sure that'll go a long way to kind of helping her through this time, which is going to be really difficult for her.
She'll be treated at City. She'll see the players every day. It's not like years ago when, you know, this could have been a career-ending injury. You know, these times have changed, and a lot of it is mental. And you've got players around you who've been through similar, which could only help because, like you say, you've got Aoife. Lauren Hemp missed 6 months with a serious injury. She, you know, there's ways of getting through. And I suppose when your friends have been through it, it's all about the support network you've got around you. And I think she's got a really good one there for the mental side. And then obviously she's got the top quality care on the physical side, which will have started already, you know, yeah. And, you know, the sooner she gets back, the better. But obviously such a serious injury has got to be made sure that it's done the right way. But yeah, absolutely devastated. I was devastated on the day. And every time I think about it now, it's put a cloud over the end of the season for me more than anything else, because it's just, you know, it's just terrible when you lose a player like that.
I think it's like you said, it's devastating for any player. But I just think, given the season that she's had, the impact that she's made, and just to go out in the way that she has, I just think it just makes it that little bit more devastating, really.
You know, we just all wish her the best and hope her a speedy and full recovery, coming back better and stronger than ever.
Yeah, definitely. We'd like to wish Chloe all the very best with the recovery. The result against West Ham confirmed second place finish to champions Chelsea. City finished the season on 55 points, which marks the highest total ever recorded by runners-up in any season, therefore highlighting the fine margins, and the strength of the league and how competitive it's become.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives to add, definitely. As you say, the most points we've ever had, the most goals. To push aside of Chelsea, I mean, let's be fair, Chelsea deserve champions. They're a very, very good side. They've got a great two world-class players probably in every position. And we've pushed that Chelsea team to the very, very last game. We've only lost once all season. That was to Chelsea. We certainly gave it everything we had against Chelsea the other week. And it came down to a world-class save that possibly stopped us taking 3 points off them. So it's very, very fine margins against a really, really top-class side. Add into that what you just said, Emma, that most points we've ever got, most goals we've ever scored, certainly positives. And let's not forget, we'll throw the FA Cup into the mix as well. Yeah. You know, so the silverware, if we was having a bus parade, you know, there'd be a nice big silver pot on top of it, wouldn't there? So, you know, it's not the end of the world. There's certainly a lot of positives to take from the season. A new manager, his first season, you know, settling in and carrying on, you know, the tradition of the club challenging at the top of the league. We certainly challenged all the way right till the end. So yeah, the thing is now to take that next step and go that one further and take the title, which is not going to be easy because Chelsea aren't going anywhere, and they're going to be the main threats again next season because they've got quality players and quality manager and experience in every position. And you know, I think it's very important we have a good pre-season. And we need to hit the ground running next season because every single game is crucial right from the very start. You could drop a point in the first game and it could end up costing you at the end of the season. So every single game is crucial because there's not that many of them. And that's the mantra I would preach into them. You know, have a good pre-season, get some good new signings in and let's go for it again and carry on the momentum.
Yeah. I mean, Jayne, it was a game itself that was, I would say, dominated again by City, but the full-time result, I think, reflects a little bit differently. Obviously, 1-0 at full-time. Ellen White with the only goal in the game, breaking the deadlock on the volley in about 75th minute. it certainly took us a while, but we got there in the end.
We did get there in the end. I mean, why can't we score penalties? What is it with us?
I don't even know. What a weekend for penalties.
Oh man, I can't cope with him. I'd rather just don't give him us in the end. Just don't give him us. We'll just pretend we got it and we missed. So yeah, we'll carry on from there. Yeah, like you say, you know, we our play should have meant that we scored more goals. You know, we dominated the game. I don't
we hit the woodwork about 3 times, didn't we?
I don't think Taib in our goal had much to do, to be honest. There wasn't much for her. Ellie could have played probably with an injured ankle and still ended up with a clean sheet. She could have got that joint record. But yeah, I mean, we dominated the game. It's just we didn't manage to put the ball in the net. That's possibly been a little bit of a story of our season at times, where we've dominated the games and probably not got the goals that we would deserve, or that we should have got during those games. But yeah, we got the result. It was nice to finish on a win. Like you say, it was always going to be looking for the fact that Chelsea would probably have to lose that game, and that was never going to be very likely.
That's one thing I will say, Emma, that their goalkeeper had an absolute stormer of a game. Besides the 2 penalty saves, she played really well and made quite a lot of saves. Have you noticed how many times this season that's happened when we played against teams?
Yeah,
that the goalkeeper seems to have the game of the season.
I mean, even Hannah Hampton against when we played Birmingham, she had a cracking game as well.
Played well. Megan Walsh had a fantastic game for Brighton early in the season. I remember Grace Maloney playing really well at Reading. They seem to save the best games against us, and but fair play to them. You know, that's what they're there to do. But yeah, the goalkeeper for West Ham on Sunday was outstanding.
Do you think West Ham will take some confidence from this game, given that it was just a 1-0 heading into obviously the FA Cup game on Sunday?
Yeah, I suppose they will in a way, because they didn't really come out, did they? But they had a couple of chances. There was the one in the first half when the girl ran right away from the back, the defender. And then, you know, if they'd take one of those chances and got the noses in front and then sat in and come away with a draw, even, they would have been even happier, I suppose. But yeah, I suppose they'll look at it that we dominated the game, but we only scored 1 goal. So from their point of view, their manager's got to try and look at positives for them to take into Sunday's game, which we'll talk about in a minute, which is a very important game. So yeah, I suppose they will try and look at that as a positive, that they kept us down to 1. On another day, I think we would have scored. And I'm not just saying the penalties there, I'm talking overall. We should have scored 4 or 5, really. But for a mixture of factors, bad finishing and good goalkeeping, we didn't do.
Do you think they were badly taken pens, or do you just think they were well saved in the end?
Both.
I was going to say, however much I love City, I think they were badly taken.
Yeah,
pens.
I mean, they weren't the best. I always think if you're not sure, smash a penalty nice and high. You know, my dad used to say to me years ago, smash it at the goalkeeper's head because they always dive. You know, if you're not sure, just hit it as hard as you can at their head and they'll dive out of the way. You know, so when you start to place them, you've got to place them with a bit of conviction, and they haven't been doing. But you know, it's running through the club at the moment. If you know, anyone saw Sergio Aguero's the other day, and look what a striker he's been. So,
to be fair, Sergio's was worse than the whole lot.
Sergio's was probably the worst of them.
Even the best can do it. You know what I mean? So. Maybe get someone in over the summer to work a couple of days with them all, just out to take a penalty.
Couple of weeks, couple of days, couple of weeks we need.
Needed. Are you expecting anything different, obviously, heading into Sunday's 5th round tie?
Well, obviously, we're going to be massive favourites again. We're at home. So as I always say to you on here, I always fancy us at home against anyone, because I think if we play well at home, you know, it's a bit of a fortress. We'll beat them. So in terms of the game, teams and game-wise, I don't think either club have got much choice to mix it up much. I think we'll see similar lineups. We already know Ellie's out, so Karima will continue in net, and I'm quite happy with that. You know, what I've seen of her, she's always played well when she's come in. So I would expect a very similar lineup and pretty similar type of game, to be honest with you, with City dominating the possession.
Yeah, I was going to say we do seem to be managing a few injuries at the moment, so
Yeah.
it's expected that we'll probably see a similar kind of team to that.
That's what I'm thinking. You might see the odd change. You know, you may see if Aoife Mannion's back in the fold, she was out on Sunday, things like that. You might see the odd change here and there, but I wouldn't think there'd be many because I don't think he's got that much option. So, but it's an important game. We want to stay in the cup. We want to retain the trophy. We want to go back to Wembley. The final date's been announced now for the 5th of December. And the next round's early next season, so we want to stay in it. Be a nice positive end to the season. So yes, it's an important game. In some ways, it's more important than last week because last week was always, it wasn't all just about us, but this one is all just about us. Make sure we win and make sure we get through.
I mean, City will be looking to obviously progress to the quarter-final. Jayne, how important is it that we go out and get that result on Sunday?
I think it is. I think it'd be a massively positive way to end the season. This comes now after we didn't manage to win the WSL, so to get this and still be in the FA Cup when it starts next year, it's a trophy that we love. I think it'd be a real boost to everyone to kind of finish and say, yep, we're still in the cup, we won our last game of the season. A real positive way to end. So I think I'm expecting, like Dave said, a pretty similar formation and setup than we had the other day. Which is fine, it's a great team. It's a great team that should easily be able to go out. On paper, you would be expecting us to win. So it's just putting that performance in on the day and making sure that we end, before we go off for the summer, we end with a real positive kind of result.
And like Dave said, we've now got confirmation of the remaining dates of the Women's FA Cup. Tournament will carry forward into next season after the 5th round ties have been played. The final itself will be hosted at Wembley Stadium on Sunday, the 5th of December, 2021, a date that will now hold important significance as it marks the 100 years since the FA banned women's football, and it will stand as a fitting tribute to all female trailblazers who have played the sport for the competition's 50th anniversary. Quarterfinals will be played on Wednesday, the 29th of September, with the semis taking place on Sunday, the 31st of October, 2021. The cup final, always a very special occasion, but how poignant will this one be?
Brilliant, yeah. It's like you say, because of the anniversary of the ban, and it'll be quite strange. A cup final just before Christmas. Maybe we could put tinsel on the trophy instead of ribbons or something like that. But yeah, it's a bit of a one-off again, like I said last year. They're holding it over. So looking at the positives, like looking for Sunday, the two main positives I would say for this are, first of all, it won't have that end of season. It shouldn't have that end of season feel that you sometimes get at a game that doesn't mean anything if it's a league game and everything's done and dusted. You just play it out. This isn't. This is a cup tie, so it's important. Both teams will want to win it, so you've got that. So we should get a better game. And then second of all, if we can win this, you're 2 steps from Wembley. So that's a boost for you starting next season. You think, right, let's get up to speed. We've got the quarter-final in September. You're 2 steps from the cup final again. So it's not that far away again. You can start to think about it and touch it. So yeah, so use those positives on Sunday to say, get us through, and then we're only 2 steps from Wembley at the start of next season, which would be great.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate, but I'm going to assume that the league will have obviously started once it before the FA Cup will get under the way.
I would expect. I mean, we've got the Olympics, haven't we? So I would expect the league to start early September.
Yeah.
And that quarterfinals at the end of September. So I would imagine we'll at least say 2 league games before that quarterfinal is my guess. So yeah, so that's good. And I would imagine, hopefully, let's keep everything crossed. We'll all be back in games certainly by December. We can go to the cup final, and because that was, it was great to see us win the cup this year, but obviously we all wanted to be there and we weren't allowed to be. So it'd be great if we could be.
Yeah, it'd be great. And like I said, with they're doing all these trial events now, and everything seems really positive again. So if we can carry this, obviously, into the start of the season and get fans back in the stadium, that itself is going to be incredible, and I guess pretty emotional as well.
I think it will be. I think it will be quite emotional for a lot of people, kind of, going and seeing the team again and seeing people that we've not seen for you know, a year and a half or however long it'll be. I think it'll be quite an emotional occasion when we first managed to get back into the games.
Yeah, you know yourself, Emma, that a match day is more than just a game, isn't it? It's the people you see around the stadium, faces you only see once a week, sort of thing, and you have a little chat, and it's the whole experience of the day, isn't it? And away games as well. You know, it's like we've got a community, haven't we? So I suppose every club's the same like that, and we've all missed it. You know, you can talk on computer screens and stuff and everything like we've been doing, but it's not the same as being there. And you know, we've all missed what we do for, you know, it's our hobby, it's what we all live for. So 18 months away from it will be a lot. So I think it will be very emotional when we get back in.
So guys, let's get to round up a quick prediction then for Sunday. What are you thinking?
I'll go first. Dave's struggling here, he can't decide. I'm gonna say we're gonna go out and we're gonna win quite confidently 3-0.
Well, I'll take that, but I'll be more optimistic. I'll say 4. I'll say this time we'll actually put the ball in the net as many times as we should do. Yeah. So I'll go for 4-0. But you know, cup tie, as long as we win, I'll be happy.
They'll want to go out and get the job done for sure, and I think they'll want to put it to bed as early as possible. So I'm expecting goals.
What's your prediction, Emma?
I'm gonna go with Jayne 3-0.
3-0. Well, we'll all be happy then, won't we?
That'll do us.
That'll do us.
Clean sheet. Come on.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for chatting to me. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you in a couple of weeks' time because we're going to do a really special end of season review. It's also going to be our 100th episode. I can't even believe it. We've managed to do 100 of these.
Emma.
I know, it's crazy. So really looking forward to catching up with you for that and reflecting on the season.
That was great. I remember
flows and everything. So yeah, it's.
I remember doing. Was it the first episode we did when we launched the first yearbook in Mary D's?
Yeah.
Was that episode? God, that's gone fast, hasn't it?
I actually put that on the other day just to listen, because it popped up on my Spotify for some reason, and I put it on, and the audio sound, the quality of the audio was terrible. So it's definitely improved in terms of quality, you know. So yeah, 100 episodes is fantastic.
Brilliant, and well done.
Get there, but we've done it. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and hopefully. We can have a good gander about the season.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Sounds like a good plan.
That'll be great.
Brilliant, guys. Well, take care and I'll see you soon.
See ya. Bye, Emma.
Bye. Thank you.
And that's it for this week. Thanks to Dave and Jayne for joining me on this week's show. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time for our end of season review, details of which we'll be sharing across our social medias, so make sure you're following MCW Fancast on Instagram and Twitter. It'll also be, as we mentioned there, our 100th episode, so really, really looking forward to that. Don't forget, Sunday's game against West Ham will be available to watch live via City Plus, and kick-off is 2 p.m. Stay safe, everyone.